Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Karen Pank. I'm the Executive Director for CPOC. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to give it a minute or two just to make sure everybody is able to get in through the waiting room and has an opportunity to join us. I do want to let folks know we'll to go ahead and mute for now, but definitely please feel free to come off of mute at any point to ask questions. We also have set the recording, so you should have received that notice as you entered. So just wanted to make sure folks were aware of that. And Katie, I will wait for you, but probably we're close to that 1:30 time, so may make sense for us to get started.
Yep.
Great. All right. Well, thank you again for joining, and we're excited as always to offer an opportunity on a Friday afternoon to learn about something new and to try to make connections around a lot of the tools needed for us to do the work that we do in probation. And for today's purposes, we have Averhealth with us for the presentation, and I know they are looking forward to answering questions either during the presentation or after. We'll also be monitoring the chat, so if it's just easier to pop something in while you're thinking about it, please feel free to do so. I'm going to turn it over to Justin Manni, the Vice President of Business Development, to kind of walk us through what we're going to talk about today and introduce his team.
Thanks, Karen. Well, welcome everyone. Today you're joined by our Chief Technology Officer, Vikram Menon, our Business Development Manager, Andrew Stoles, and myself, Vice President of Business Development, Justin Manni. We're going to make this very quick and efficient for you today. I think you're going to find that as a theme as we go today. First thing we're going to do is talk about and show you a demo of Rapid Report, our innovative instant test cup app. We're going to give you a brief overview of what we stand for and what we're about as a company. We're going to chat about our lab and the breakneck speeds that we provide results with. And we're going to touch on innovation and then close and hopefully open it up to any questions that you may have. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to hear that we can probably do this in 25 minutes. So we're not going to take too much of your time. Again, we're going to be quick and efficient. So the first thing I want to do is talk about Rapid Report. So Rapid Report is an app specifically designed to streamline instant test results. So when we think about instant tests right now, when you're not using a laboratory and you have to use an instant cup or an instant oral fluid device, whether you're in the field, you're in the courtroom, even in your office, a lot of times it's difficult after you get that result to log it. There's either paper or several duplicate entries that you have to do, whether it's in your case management system, in your lab reporting system. Sometimes you have to fill out a piece of paper and put it in if you have to go and confirm it, and then you have to ship it off. There's just a lot of work that's involved. What we've done is we built an app for folks like yourselves and by folks like yourselves and your staff. So we piloted this and built it with our customers in mind and our customers' feedback, so that we can provide something, again, that saves time and helps make data-driven decisions when you are using cups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this app live and show you what it looks like. This is going to be mirrored right from my phone. Here we go. So you're going to see a view of my phone. Here it is. So let's say you or one of your staff members is doing an instant cup collection. You can have this brought up right on your phone. We will preload your instant device information right into our system. You're going to have your caseload in that system too. And let's say right now I'm Kelly Slater. I'm in here. This is a demo account, but we're in here, and this is exactly what it would look like. So you can see any cups that are awaiting confirmations. You can see positive cups, negative cups. I can even click in here and you can see what those look like. Or you can even go and look at trends. So what am I doing? What's happening with these cups that we're using right now? Any trends that we see? Let's check somebody in. So let's say you have a client and you're going with them in the restroom and you need to do a collection. It's as simple as this. With your mobile device, we're going to have your cup preloaded. Let's say you have a 14 panel. Here you are. Here are all the 14 assays on that panel. And let's say this person maybe tested positive for amphetamines and cocaine. So we have a couple options here. We can complete without confirmation and be done with it right there. We can continue and complete with a confirmation. I'm going to show you how this works. So first option, complete with confirmation. We're going to go right here. Done. Just like that. Just like that, you logged a result. It goes right into our system, Aversys, and if we are interfaced with your case management platform, right in there too. And by the way, we interface with every case management platform out there. We don't charge to do it. So right there and then, you just logged a result in an instant. Let's try another one. So now we're going to do Colin McLaughlin. We're going to go to Colin's cup. So we do a collection for Colin, and maybe it's amphetamines and cocaine. And Colin is adamantly denying use. And you say, okay, well, let's go and send these off to the lab. You can choose which ones you want to confirm. Hit continue. Just like that, done. What we give you, if you're in the field and you don't have access to a printer, is pre-printed labels. They go right on the specimen. And if I hit scan label from my device right now, you're able to take a picture of it and it's loaded right in there. If you're in an office setting where you want to print or you need to print, you can print label. It's going to create a drug testing requisition form, and there'll be a sticker on the bottom of it you peel off and put right on that specimen. As easy as that. Let's try one more instance here. So let's say we go back and we're going to start this one over. And maybe Colin is refusing to provide a sample. We can put right here refused, and you can put in notes, Colin was refusing. And potentially, and maybe he was being disruptive. Maybe something else was happening. Maybe you had a fantastic experience with Colin and he had all negatives. Whatever that may be, you're allowed to put in notes, and those notes, the refusal, the unable to provide, if they did provide the sample, all of those things are put into our system just like that. So if we hit complete without confirmation, it's right there, done. If you're thinking, wow, this is really easy, it's because it is. Again, we built this so that there are minimal amounts of clicks, minimal amounts of options and screens, maximum amounts of data. So in order to make data-driven decisions, you need the data. And what do we know? We know from talking to our customers and from doing this for quite some time that a lot of times negative results with cups don't always get logged. Cup gets thrown out, and that's it. But the positives normally always do. But how do you make data-driven decisions? How do you track trends if you're not logging everything? And again, another reason why we built this. It's as simple as that. By the way, this app is free. If you buy cups from us, if you use our laboratory, if you're using our system Aversys, you get Rapid Report for free. It is downloadable in the app stores from your mobile devices. Just that simple. So I'm going to now go back to our presentation. And I'm going to pass this off to the business development manager who covers the entire Western region, Andrew Stolz.
Thank you, Justin. And once again, thank you everyone for having us. And as Justin mentioned, I'm going to try to keep this brief, but if you guys have any questions, please let us know. So, Averhealth overview, total test logistics. That's our fancy way of saying we have a comprehensive end-to-end solution for all of your drug testing needs. And that really focuses kind of on the three pillars that we really like to hone in on. Justin referenced Aversys and how Rapid Report works into that. So think of this web-based application as a program that really augments your drug testing program. From the minute a client comes in for intake, putting them into the system, customization of panels, client notification to results reporting, even on the back end for the administrators on this call, where you can go in and really take a deep dive into drug trends, positive rates, who's using the system, all the way down to how much money you're spending related to your drug testing program. Our people, so we'll touch on here in a couple slides the access that you get with Total Test Logistics when it comes to our leadership team. And then all the way down to our local operations team, business development, all the way down to our patient care staff. And in some situations, we currently do it in California, and we can certainly accommodate for other departments where we can come in and offset your collections for you guys. So getting that drug testing component away from your staff to where you guys can focus on what you do best, which is community supervision. And then, of course, our laboratory, our nationally accredited laboratory, which is based out of St. Louis, Missouri, where we have all the major accreditations from CLIA to CAP to even DEA, and our ability to really customize panel configurations, whether it's instant cups, urine straight to laboratory, hair, oral fluid, and even sweat, we can offer that as well. So we always like to brag about kind of where we got our start. Believe it or not, some of you, I don't know if Tulare County's on here, but so in 1995, so this is our 30th anniversary of being in business, Tulare County Probation and the specialty courts was our very first customer. And they're still our customer today, which speaks a lot about our commitment. We also serve a whole bunch of social services, Department of Social Services programs throughout the state of California and across the country. We have a significant footprint, but I just wanted to show you guys where we're at right now in California and obviously looking to expand. All right, turnaround times. I know this is extremely important for the folks on this call, and I love to speak to this slide because we do have the fastest turnaround times in the industry. This data was compiled at the end of the year, and we're eagerly awaiting our updated figures for this quarter. But where we're at, so when our laboratory receives a sample, we are reporting presumptive negatives in under 4 hours, presumptive positives in just under 7 hours. And as you can see, if it furthers on for testing, for confirmatory, we're still really quick compared to some of the other laboratories out there. And in addition to this, we're also expanding our laboratory. We're opening our new laboratory in the middle of middle of April of this year, which is only going to better this and allow us to get results out even quicker. All right, speaking of our laboratory, and part of the total test logistics piece that I'm speaking to is California folks, you're going to get access to all of our team, from access to our Chief Executive Officer, Dominique Delagnes, to our Chief Technology Officer, Vic, to our PhD master level toxicologist at our laboratory, all the way to our operations team. So from VP of operations down to your local care teams, and then Justin, myself, and the rest of the business development team. All right, I'm gonna nerd out really quick on our laboratory and then we'll move along. So once again, we're very proud of our laboratory, the turnaround times, the fact that we're expanding our laboratory. Once again, we have all the major accreditations required for a forensically defensible result, which is led by 2 PhD level toxicologists. In addition to the urine or the instant cups that Justin got into in the beginning. We all know urine is your gold standard. So we obviously offer that, but also other different specimen types from hair, oral fluid, and sweat. We have a significant customer footprint across the country. We serve over 2,700 programs, and at any given time, around 550,000 active participants, clients feeding our laboratory in St. Louis, Missouri. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Vic, who is our Chief Technology Officer. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. So obviously AI is a big buzzword these days, as you guys know, but I would say for us, it's not just a buzzword. There's a lot of exciting things we're doing this year when it comes to AI. We're leveraging it in a real big way to drive innovation. Also, just wanted to mention that I am also on the APPA AI subcommittee, so getting a lot of input there on just how people are thinking, what are the challenges in the industry, and where we can come in and help. So the first thing I want to talk about is predictive analytics. So we have built a model that's leveraging machine learning. The idea here is to analyze historical test results of clients, looking at client profiles, and then build a predictive model that then observes real-time data and predicts patterns of risk, and that allows us to proactively flag any clients that are at risk. What we also did, in addition to leveraging our years worth of rich data, is to kind of incorporate a lot of external data to make the model even richer. So, publicly available data sets around socioeconomic factors, census data, just macroeconomic factors in the location. So, in summary, if depending on where the client is, how they've engaged with us, how they've tested, socioeconomic factors, their demographics of that location, we can predict the likelihood that they will continue to test positive and therefore be at risk. So currently actively working on with the marketing team to brand this. This is, an industry first product. We are really excited and really proud of the work that's gone in, and we believe that this is going to have a big impact. So I think especially as there are concerns around just workloads, I think what this model can do and help is help frontline workers prioritize their workloads and know where their focus needs to be. So super excited about this. The other big initiative this year is mobile. So we've historically, Aversys is a really powerful platform, hasn't historically been very friendly for mobile, and that's an area that we're really investing in this year. So we're getting ready to launch our mobile application. That's in addition to what Justin showed you, this kind of larger capability. It's a significantly enhanced user experience. We've redesigned all of our workflows, optimized them for mobile device, presenting analytics, reports, insights, all on mobile. And the focus really has been to provide actionable real-time data and visualizations of how the program's performing, just better oversight overall so we can help make decisions quickly. So really excited about this and getting ready to launch. And then just overall, one of our goals has been to kind of upgrade the overall user experience. Mobile, of course, being a big strategy, as I spoke, and we talked about AI, but there are other areas that we can leverage AI in. So just key focus areas here for us. One is be able to do everything on a mobile device, which I just kind of talked about. Whether you're on the go, you're in a remote location, you should be able to transact, run through all of your workflows, just like you were, sitting at your desk. The other thing we're also building is biometrics. So we know how important it is to guarantee the person we're testing is the person we're supposed to test, and it's looking at government issued IDs and matching the face can be prone to errors, mistakes, fudging of cards and things like that. So we're introducing fingerprint scanning, facial recognition, just really kind of foolproof ways to identify, and also kind of speed up the process of registering patients, clients registering, checking them in for drug tests and things like that. So lot of enhancements, a lot of innovation in this space. So combining artificial intelligence, new technology platforms, we're really excited about what's coming this year.
Thanks, Vic. One of the things we want to talk about, I'm actually going to skip over this and come back to the other one. So one of the biggest things that we've also unveiled is a service called Averone. So not every court is built the same. Not every agency has the same needs. There are some that have more needs, need more handholding, more of the heavy lifting done. And for that, we introduced a service offering called Averone. And with that, concierge onboarding and implementation. You've got an entire cross-functional team available to you to help onboard, train, implement our services. None of these come at extra cost, by the way. Ongoing direct access to leadership. Myself, Vikram, Andrew, you'll have a meeting in the beginning with our VP of Finance to make sure all the billing looks correct. You'll have an opportunity to meet with our CEO, our VP of Operations. Let's make sure all of that looks good too. The actual work that we're going to start for you. And even access to our grant manager. She's our RFP writer, our government contract manager. She can go and pull data for you right from our system and help you write grants because we know how important that is. Again, we provide very rich data, but sometimes it's overbearing. Let us do that for you. We'll pull it and help you write some grants. We do quarterly reviews, dashboard integration, and even try to get together at All Rise, at APPAs, at local conferences to do think tanks with our customers. What's next? Again, it's how we built Rapid Report. And then looking at different trends. So this service is really providing an unparalleled drug testing experience, and we're offering it to everybody in California. It is not something we offer to everyone, but it is something that we want to extend to the state of California. So I'm going to go back. This right here is probably my favorite visual. If there's one thing to remember from today, it is this visual because it is powerful. We are the only organization that provides total test logistics. And what do I mean by that? End-to-end solutions. While other vendors and organizations can collect specimens, they can provide the technology, they can provide quick laboratory results, all of these things, they can't do it on their own. And all of them need to involve another vendor or even 2 or 3 or 4. We're the only vendor that does it under our umbrella by providing you total test logistics. And we've been that way. Again, this is our 30-year anniversary. We've been that way for 30 years, and we are growing and providing even more services under our one roof. That gives us control, and that makes sure that that ensures that if you have a question, if you have a concern, anything you need, we can get it handled quickly and efficiently. So it's something that we're very, very proud of. With that, as promised, look at us. We are at the 23-minute mark. So right under 25 minutes. We're going to give you some time back in your day, but we really just wanted to thank you. I want to thank you for taking the time on a Friday to listen to us, but I want to thank you for what you do too. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. I am a mentor in the APPA Leadership Institute. I'm on my 4th time. I mentor 2 folks at the same time every institute, which is quite challenging, but I'm really proud of it. I've been a part, like Vic said, of different subcommittees. I'm on the International Relations Committee. Vic is on the AI subcommittee, and we've really done a lot of work with APPA, and we're starting to do a lot of work with CPOC too. It's something that we're very, very proud of, and we want to grow with all of you. So for the support that you've showed us, thank you so much. And we hope that we can have some incredible conversations with you to talk about our unique offerings and our future-ready innovation.
Great. Thank you so much, Justin. I know we already have a few questions. So El Dorado.
Yeah. Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for the presentation. I think I met you at CAPSA, Andrew and Vikram. We're both on that APPAIA committee. So I thought I saw you there.
Yeah.
So my questions are the labels. Is that a special paper that we'll have to put in our printer? And do you supply that, or do we have to figure that out?
So you're referencing, is this Andrew, is it Craven, I believe?
Yeah. You got it.
Nice to virtually see you again.
Yes, you too.
Yeah,
Andrew.
so Justin, I can answer that. So yeah, we provide
Thanks.
all the, it's a it's a blank chain of custody form, and when you print it through our system, it auto populates everything. So we provide that that's part of the cost per sample that we'll quote to your department.
Okay.
All those supplies from shipping to chain of custody forms to sample vials, everything that you need to run a successful drug testing program is included.
Awesome.
And there's no special printer needed for it.
Yeah, no special printer.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So that adds another thought that I have. So if I'm doing field work and collect the tests in the field to maintain the chain of custody, is there ability to print a label in the field and affix it to the bottle?
Or would we just use that scan option? And are we done at that point until we mail it?
That would be correct. So we can give you pre-printed labels and you can scan it right for your phone. It's going to create a requisition form that goes right into our system.
And the bottle itself, I think what Julie was talking about, there's no like barcode on the bottle itself.
So he goes,
There will be on the scan sticker that we give you that you scan from your phone, and and you put that right over the top of the specimen container. Yep.
And if
Okay.
you're old school, and I always joke about this, but we can also provide those old school chain of custody forms, those 2-ply, 3-ply.
1-ply or 2-ply. Yeah.
No
sure.
thanks.
And then you can just
thank you
fax
for saying
everything
that.
to us, Andrew,
Yeah.
when you're done.
Testing us.
So,
Sure. And just a couple more questions. Do you have a test randomizer in the software?
So I'm glad you asked that. So we have everyone you assign will get a unique personal identification number. And there's a few different ways they can find out they need to test. They can call in and type in their PIN or type their PIN in right from the phone call. They can log in to my.averhealth.com and do it. Or what we found, and we've done this across the country, we are having upwards of a 23% higher compliance rate by pushing free SMS text messages out. We're meeting people where they are. This is a practice that in the past people used to say when I first started a decade ago doing this was no, they have to call in. We've got to make them responsible for their future and to get on the right path. But what we found is even us as high functioning members of society cannot remember all of our appointments. So what we do is we push out SMS texts. So they'll get a reminder they'll get a reminder that they have to test today if they're on a random selection. And if they're coming to one of our locations or even to yours, we can set the time in when you stop testing, and they'll even get a little push to say, hey, we close in an hour. Are you coming? So we give you your clients 3 different ways to find out they need to test randomly. And we could set those frequencies in the back. They'll never know what frequency they have.
Okay, I've worked with, I think, 3 labs in my 28 years here. San Diego Reference Laboratory, Redwood, and now Abbott Labs, because they were absorbed by them. What do you guys do if somebody is subpoenaed after a petition is filed for revocation and they want to see a toxicologist do a report in person at a courtroom?
We can provide in-person testimony. Absolutely.
Okay.
Video testimony is free. For in-person testimony, there is a fee, and you just have to give us some notice because we have a very busy toxicologist. Actually, we have a few of them that can testify, but we will absolutely provide that to you.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then,
thank you.
And this could be another conversation we have offline, but I'm really kind of interested in how you base pricing on I will call it your full service. We have test collectors. Is it volume? Is it whatever it is? But
So what we generally look at, and I appreciate your questions, they're very good, is we always look at your average monthly volume. We look at the panel. And then if you want us to do collections, we just look at days and hours. It's very simple. It's 3 factors. And we can come in and take all that off your hands for you. Or if you even kept your staff, or if you have your own collectors doing it, we can train them, give them all the supplies, the technology. The bottom line is we are going to take the heavy lifting off of your shoulders.
Okay, awesome. And I think what we find is our county and the region that it is, you probably won't have any problem finding anybody to do your work on the western side. But in our South Lake Tahoe region, the eastern part of the county tends to be challenging.
Yeah, and we understand that. We're in some of the most rural locations in the country. I tell you, I've been to Mountain Home, Idaho. I don't know if anybody's ever been there. There's about 15,000 people in the town that we're in, and we have a couple co-locations there. So we'll work right out of courtrooms, work out of probation offices, treatment providers. Hiring is always a challenge, but over the past 30 years, we've become very good at it. And the other thing is we pay well with a lot of advancement. So it's an attractive position.
All right.
Thank you for your questions.
Yeah, not a problem.
Actually, I had a question. Hey, Justin, Andrew, my name's Aaron Escobar. I'm also an officer here at El Dorado County Probation. I'm a line officer, so I test daily my clients. So my question is about turnaround time. I think I heard earlier there was a 4-hour and a 7-hour turnaround window. I just wanted to confirm that that's for all substances. So the urine, hair, oral fluid, and sweat.
No. So that's for urine and oral fluid from the time they get to our lab.
Okay.
Hair is always a bit longer. So hair is probably about 3 days, maybe 2 or 3 days, but I'd rather say 3. Okay. And sweat is not something we prefer to do. We can provide it, but honestly, if you're looking at sweat testing, I'd probably refer you to another vendor for that. Simply because it's just really not it's not.
Yeah, I've never heard. How does one collect that? Like a cotton swab, or what's the procedure for that?
For what?
For sweat. What is the procedure for collecting sweat?
Oh, it's a patch that they put on their arm that they wear for about 10 to 14. Some of them wear it up for 21 days, but there's really only 1 or 2 labs that sell it. They patented it. So every other lab has to buy it from them, and that's all they do. So if you ever needed help with that, obviously we can help because we're very friendly with the other folks in this industry. And if that's a solution you need, if someone's traveling, we'll help you out.
Understood. Thank you.
Do you have oral swabs?
We do. In fact, we work with a department in Indiana that does about 8,000 oral fluid tests a month.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Don't use drugs in Indiana.
Well, not in Indianapolis. Yeah. So we definitely know oral fluid, and we're actually expanding our oral fluid panel. So there's some options there too. And oral fluid's fantastic if, as many locations have, lots of male probationers, and not a lot of male officers. So a lot of times the male officers have to get pulled in to observe UAs. Sometimes you could do an oral fluid test in its place, and it's very helpful. And you could do several at a time. So in our location where we do 8,000 a month, we have several people sitting there where they look like lollipops with them in their mouths at the same time.
Yeah, and just to add on to the oral fluid piece, so for those folks that may have trauma in the past, great alternative for those folks as well, that have a shy bladder, or just because of their history, they're unable to provide observed, UA tests. Oral fluid is a great option. And just to nerd out really quick on the hair follicle piece, I always like to tell people this. The reason it takes a lot longer is we actually have to pulverize it. We have to grind it up and then analyze it that way, hair. So that's why it does take a little bit longer. It's kind of disgusting, but it's an interesting way of doing things.
Any other questions?
I bet nobody thought on a Friday afternoon that's what we would be hearing.
We would be talking about pulverizing hair in a blender.
Yeah. That wasn't on my bingo card either.
Yeah.
Exactly. But no, this is great and very helpful to kind of start hearing probably from the departments directly the types of things that they need to hear about in order to be making some of these decisions. So I really appreciate El Dorado in the house, as usual, kind of helping us kind of think through some of these things. I want to just make sure are there any other questions? one note I would just say, just as because I do not get to do any of the fun things that they do out in probation, and it sounds like the things that you would intersect with them on. But one of the things that kind of came to mind as you were looking at California, the potential expansion in California, and just the things that might be on our minds, we just passed in California Proposition 36, and so I suspect there may be a much greater need these days for drug testing, kind of throughout the county system and specifically within probation departments. So it would probably still work in all of the ways that you have presented here, but it did kind of strike me as very good timing to be talking about some of these technologies.
Thanks, Karen. Yeah, we were thinking about the exact same thing. We have a feeling we're going to see many more drug court or treatment court participants.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess the next steps for us is me reaching out to you and getting some type of proposal for what we need. So
Great.
thank you. Thank you for your time today.
Yep, and Andrew, I have your.
See you, Vikram, in another couple weeks.
Yep, Andrew, I've got your contact information, so I'll reach out probably early next week, Monday or Tuesday, and we'll kind of just go from there and determine next steps if that works.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's great. And anybody else who maybe is listening in and would like a direct linkage at this point, feel free to pop your email into the chat or reach out to any one of us after the presentation.